Am I doing it?
Neither of us decided who was going to open this up, by the way. That's great. But you see him, you see me, Essie and Scrappy is back. Hopefully with some level of consistency now that we kind of have our schedules situated.
Absolutely.
And I don't know of a better way to get back into it than the event that I probably get the most hype for throughout the year. It is Elite 8 season. Iteration 7 of Elite 8?
I don't know. I mean, remember, we had freestyle there for a while. We had folk style there for a while. It all started at a Marriott ballroom in Atlanta, Georgia during COVID.
Yep.
And, it was wild that first year. It was wild the first couple of years. But I'll tell you what, man, in my opinion, I mean, the first years, they had some stud teams. But now you got 12 teams that are deep, that bring just quality kids from all over the place. It has turned into easily like the best event around.
I don't think there's an event that can match Elite 8 because, and I talked about this with Mike Mal a couple of years ago on one of his videos. You go to Fargo, you go to Super 32, there are going to be local kids that are testing themselves against the best guys in the country.
Right.
At this event, there is none of that. There are no cupcakes. There are no local kids.
Yeah.
It is 7 matches over 2 days against monsters. I mean, you jump off the scale and you're wrestling a ranked kid almost the majority of the I think it would be the majority of the situation.
Yeah.
I think it's easily, yeah.
Well, I was talking to Ward, because Ward was talking to me. He's like, it's like Fargo or something like that. I said, it's like Fargo with the last 12 kids in the bracket. That's what it's like. I mean, it's not just. I mean, look, you go out there, you go 2-2 or 3-2 or 4-2, whatever the case is. It's a fantastic event. You did great, all those sorts of things. But to put it in context, this you're going to have tough matches regardless, and whether somebody has a number next to their name or not, they are tough. And I know Lucas said not local kids, but we got a few Georgia kids, a few Southeast kids on these teams that it'll be fun to kind of see how they do.
Yeah, there's a few of them that, we'll see what it is, but look, it's like we said, this is, in my opinion, the premier event of the year, especially duels-wise. But, like, you want to say you have Super 32, sure, fine, whatever. But when it comes to duel competitions, this is the premier event. And, as always, I will be there, live microphone and all. Somehow not been fired yet by Cliff.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Bro, you're telling me. But today we will be going through each of these teams, talking a little bit about them. And some of these teams you'll see, this will be posted, I believe, basically a week out of the event. And then as we close in on the following days leading in, a good half dozen of these coaches I will be doing interviews with. Those will be posted on my channel. And we'll get to talk a little bit more. I've already done the ones with Ziola, Coach Porter of Thunder, Coach Russell from Minions. I'm super excited for this event, man. Every year, it's amazing. I think we get started. We'll look at the spreadsheet as we have it. First team up is Black Mambas, a team that is basically a bracket regular. They're always super tough.
Yep.
But this year, man, they look super good this year. Your highlights will be guys like Alex Rosas at 120, Mickey Ruiz at 126, Israel Borge at 138 pounds, a little bit down the way, Justice Heeg at 157. Man, Black Mambas, they look prime. If they're going to make a run, this looks like the year that they'll do it.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what. So first, a shout out to the Mambas, because I think they've got to be they're one of the OGs of the Elite 8, because they were here.
I'm pretty sure they were in
one.
the first one.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, like as we look down the list, and again, numbers aren't everything, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 other 14 kids are ranked. I mean, woo! And maybe a reason that their 100-pounder or their 106 isn't ranked is because he might be just a middle school stud. I don't know Rylan Wax, but
I know I've heard the name before. I'm just not familiar with it off the top of my head, but I've heard that name.
According to this, Wax is a U.S. Open champ, 15U World Team member, and Onofre Gonzalez is a 2-time Fargo runner-up. So even though they don't have, yeah. So, but I love the fact that you already mentioned one of my favorite wrestlers on that team, and that is Alex Rosas, man. Louisiana stud. He is. And you know what? We have an opportunity to see him and JoJo Orachuk go at it again. We have an opportunity to see him, go against McGinty and some of the other kids, Monoretto. Rosas is number 6, one of my favorites to watch. And then one last one before you either talk a little more about Mambas or we move on is I love out of, again, Louisiana, Braden Semino, number 24. Semino, he is tough. And I watched him at Deep South Duels just a few weeks ago. He wrestled super good. And yeah, he's not got number 24 next to his name. But as I look across, 75 to me is the weight that's a little more open. I think that there's a lot that could happen at that weight class. Don't be surprised if he has a hell of a weekend.
I completely agree. One guy I want to make specific mention of, a guy that I really like, seen him a couple of times. He is ranked 15th in the country, Brady Hand at 150. He's one of their X factors to me because 150 is such a deep weight. If he could knock off a couple of guys, Black Mambas might be in for a deep run of the bracket. By the way, I just confirmed it. Black Mambas was one of the OG 8. I thought so.
Yeah, I thought they were.
Yeah, I thought they were too. For some reason, my brain couldn't remember if they were or if I just couldn't remember. But regardless, Coach Beats' his crew, they look ready to go.
Well, and for those of you that you love yourselves some D1 college wrestling, potential recruits, that sort of thing, Brady Hand, who you just mentioned, I think is a 3-time Virginia State champ. I think he's committed to App State. John Mark Bentley does such a good job with those kids in that neck of the woods and everything else. Brady Hand is going to be, and I think Tyler Travis is also right above him at 144. Is also isn't he a Virginia kid as well?
Believe so. I'm not sure, but I believe so.
I'm pretty sure both of them are Virginia kids, and that's a lot of fun.
Tyler Traves is a Cornell commit.
Yeah, he's a Cornell commit, but I think he's like a 3-time Virginia State champ.
Yes, 3-time Virginia State champ. Yes.
Yeah. So again, we don't. At least I don't root for any of the teams, but I do love to see those Virginia kids in the mix, the Louisiana kids in the mix.
I love seeing the
Southeast
guys. I love seeing the
taking
Southeast.
care of it. Yeah, absolutely.
So now we will move on.
Number 2.
Number 2, the next column over is Cormier's crew out of California. This is interesting because we've seen the name Cormier a couple of times. Hasn't brought his team together in the way he wanted or even been at the event, but I've been confirmed it is his crew. They're all coming through. He will be in attendance. And man, look at this team. Highlighted, obviously, Kalen Wolbert, ranked number 2 in the country. Moses Mendoza at 132 pounds. Ignacio Villasenor, ranked number 5 in the country. And up high, one of my favorite names in the tournament. We will get to our all-name team, but Kal-El Fluckinger. Mwah,
Superman, baby. Superman.
Whoever gets that kid in college, when he gets to college, if you don't get him a Superman or DC sponsorship, you're out of your mind.
Absolutely.
So Cormier is interesting to me because they only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like only 8 kids, right?
Right. Only 8.
But with California, you look at these guys, just they're not ranked in the country doesn't mean they're not a hitter. So, we look at a guy like an Eli Mendoza, a Dom Morrison. I'm not as familiar with the left coast, but if these guys are California State placers, that means they are dogs.
Well, no, 100%. But, the thing, these are Cormier's kids, and, the truth is we're looking we're looking down the group. Moses Mendoza is a California kid. I'm almost positive.
Me too.
But Wolbert is what? Wisconsin kid. Villasenor is a Colorado kid who's now in Stillwater wrestling at Stillwater High School there and that sort of thing. So, Cormier did a little bit of picking up. He obviously has his kids. And I think I think your point is super good in that look, a kid is a state qualifier or took 6th in the state of California or whatever the case is. That kid could be an absolute hammer because of just how good the state of California is. So
I think
I might not know who he is, but that doesn't mean jack.
To me, they might be the biggest question mark in the tournament of what are we going to get out of them? Because I honestly don't have an answer. I'll tell you, obviously, the guys that we know. One guy that I am familiar with who is not ranked, Leyland Day up at 285. Mm-hmm. That dude is a monster. Oh, he's not ranked. I'll never know. But he's someone to watch out for. And one thing that needs to be mentioned, at 132 pounds, they have Justice Zunga. I'm probably butchering that. I'll probably get yelled at when I'm there.
It might be Zuniga, but you're right. Who knows?
But they have him and Moses Mendoza. You have 2 kids ranked in the top 15 at the same weight. I don't think they're splitting matches all weekend. I don't think that. I think that's going to be a bump card that they have ready for a duel when they really need it.
Well, it might be a bump card, but look at the rest of their lineup below that. I mean, they got Wolbert, they got Michael Romero, number 8.
You basically have to bump up 5 weights.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, like all of those kids are ranked in the top 10. So maybe it might be that, or maybe Mendoza is hunting for that matchup with a particular individual and is waiting, and it's like, you know what? I want that match. That's the match I want. I'll fly across the country for that match itself.
I think so too, and I think we kind of have a very. Wouldn't be a couple of matches. I wouldn't be surprised if Moses is like, I'll take one and I'll take that one. You can have the rest.
That's right.
But Cormier is going to be super tough and super interesting. Now we move on.
Well, hang on. Before you go, Mendoza was huge last year in Powell's win, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, no, he was
arguably absolutely a stud. And bringing that kid onto your team who just like brings it and loves to go, I 100%. I mean, if I'm like doing a draft and trying to pick out who the kids are, Moses Mendoza is right there at the top.
These years, we need to fantasy draft teams of our own. I got an idea. I'm getting Cody Park. I got an idea for next year. This will be fun. Okay, I'll put a note in that. We'll get there when we get there.
All right, sounds good. All right, so let's move to number 3.
Regardless, team number 3, one word, dynasty. I can make the argument beside Minions. I think this would be the clear most successful team in the event that isn't named Minions, and I could even make the argument maybe more successful than Minions.
Yeah, I think that as the event has gotten tougher, Dynasty has risen to the occasion. And that's not a knock on Minions, because during the original crew of Minions, I mean, absolutely fantastic, all these sorts of things. Back when Drew Gorman was a little 8th grader wrestling 106 pounds and that sort of thing. But Dynasty, it just kept, they just kept inching up, and then they just dominated for what, 2 years?
Yep, 2 years they won. I believe they were finalists a 3rd time. Dynasty, one of the original 8 teams. You know what you're getting when Ziola and the crew comes down to the Dirty South. One thing that I do want to mention, no Jack's Forest, which could be huge. Because that tour was Forrest, the Bassetts, Mel Miller, Tom Monarello, Caleb Noble. They had a core, and that tour is still there. I've already been iggy'd. I'm going to do an interview with that tour when we get on site Friday morning. They want those robes. Cliff wasn't kidding. When they posted their rosters, Iola sent it to me. He sent in robe sizes with their roster. He was not kidding. Like, he is expecting a win. Let's talk about that team.
You know what? That sounds like him.
Bro, Keegan Bassett, Caleb Noble, Dom Monaretto, Bo Bassett, Lorenzo Austin, Mel Miller, Jaden Farrell, Jimmy Masney, Cass Cooley. I mean, top to bottom, the team is incredible. One guy to watch out for that I was already told about, Paige Jones and Weston Porter. Those two can bang with anyone in the country.
Really? Those are two names I don't know, so I love that.
Ziola made point to me of, hey, these kids, you might not know who they are now. You will by the end of the weekend. So I'm excited to see them. And the big thing here for me, because a lot of duels, it's all about momentum. When you hit those middle weights, if you're going to beat Dynasty, you need to find some way to stop their run from 106. It's going to sound odd, but they have a run of Bassett, Noble, Monaretto, and then you hit that back end run of Bassett, Alston, Paige Jones, Miller, and then O'Farrell in the heavies. You got to be able to win matches in those lightweights and upper and lower middleweights. If you don't, duels can get really ugly.
Yeah,
if those kids are as good as I'm told, these duels could get real ugly real quick. We've seen it happen with teams where just all of a sudden a duel opens up and there's really not much you can do about it. So I am, as always, excited to see Dynasty.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I think is super important, and if I were putting together a team or trying to bring a team or those sorts of things, I would definitely want to get a hitter at 100 or 106 pounds. And the reason being is it is a momentum thing, right? And having Keegan Bassett there at 106 pounds, man, dude, you know that, like, I mean, I don't know, 999 times out of 1,000, you're getting yourself points and bonus points right there and there, you know, and you're just taking it, and then you put that into Caleb Noble's hands, and then you got it Dom Monaretto's hands, and you just kind of build that momentum, like you said. So I think that if I were putting together a team, that's a weight that I think is really important down low to begin that kind of movement. And then last thing I would say is really looking forward to seeing Lorenzo Alston back. He's a North Carolina kid in the mix. He's ranked. And then Jaden O'Farrell, who was at Lake Highland Prep before heading up to Pennsylvania, winning Fargo this past year. Absolutely love to see him at 175 pounds. And you know what? I'm interested to see 215 in heavyweight, because you know what? Sometimes you really need to be able to finish out that duel. And you know what? You want to have hammers on the backside.
Agree. Completely agree. Now we move on to Team 4, a debutante here at Elite 8, and one that you might be a little bit better to talk about. It is the Miami Hawks. Obviously, up top, you're looking at the Mako brothers, Giovanni Solis at 138 pounds, Giovanni Tovar at 120. Those are the names that immediately stick out to me, just as I'm a little less familiar with Florida than you. Why don't you talk to me about Pat Lugo's crew and the Hawks?
Yeah, so one, shout out to Pat Lugo and bringing together, you know, a Miami Hawks team. I think it's fantastic. I'll be honest with you. It has a crew of Florida kids, but it also has a bunch of kids who are not from Florida, which, again, not a surprise. You know, Cormier's got some of the West kids, right? And kind of his mix with his California kids. With Miami Hawks, you know, you've got Peraza, who is a Florida kid down at 100. He's tough. Jake Strickland is a South Carolina kid. You mentioned Tovar, obviously a Florida kid and stud. But then you get to Braden Weaver, and I think Braden's a Pennsylvania kid. Huerta is a California kid. Giovanni Solis in there. You got Calais Nazario, who came to the event a year ago and had a really good event a year ago. Love to see him back and that sort of thing. But obviously for me, you know, I want to see, I know where Michael Mako is. I mean, it's going to be great. I mean, I'm looking across the spreadsheet here at 285, and I can't wait to see him compete against some of them. But for me, the one Mako I want to see is Peter Mako. Because
me too. I'm super interested.
Peter is right there but he's going to get, Ronan on from freaking Georgia. He's going to get a Cash Colbert, who is the younger brother of the other Colbert from Virginia, who's now the heavyweight at Army. He's going to get some studs at 215, and I just can't wait to see how well he competes against them.
For sure. We will move on now. This team is a little odd, and I even hear there's still changes to come. So we'll kind of see what happens as time goes on. It's the Misfits. Shout out to Coach Boskin. There was Alien United was initially in this position to return from last year. Don't want to go into just whatever happened. They are unable to make it this year. So Cliff asked around. Boskin stepped up to help kind of get the last few guys together. I was basically told this team is put together within an hour of Boskin being asked, because they took a lot of the free agents and kind of
I'll tell you what, he put together a good squad. I mean, it's gonna be an uphill climb, but he's got a good squad there.
Yeah, you look Jakai Roller, Mason Kosecker, Bickerton, Vandermark, and Borge obviously are your front runners on that squad. But this is not a team to go into this duel lightly. When you look at flight weights, if they can snag some wins on the light side, get some bonus where they need, it could be made. You can make a duel out of this if you're Misfits.
Oh, 100%. I mean, look, a couple things. This is, for me, one of the things that Misfits actually is sitting in a really good spot. Everybody wants the matches. Everybody, I want to go to junior duels and I want to wrestle Greco and freestyle and get all the matches, right? Everybody wants to come to Elite 8 and get all the matches because you're paying money. You're coming a long way. There's great competition. But I'll tell you what, if Misfits have, 2 kids at 50, 2 kids at 57, 2 kids at here, 2 kids at there, I'll tell you what, you can keep somebody fresh, have them go out there, not get banged up, and give another person, another team some fits
for sure.
For in that situation. Now, they don't have 2 at every single weight, but I think that's important. I mean, if I were putting together a team, I would love to bring 16 kids, 18 kids, because if I can move them in, that's
one
huge.
thing that matters, if they could take a win off some of these teams that are trying to get in the bracket, we've seen it where teams, they go maybe 2 and 3 in the pool, but the way the pool breaks out, they get in that 4th spot to get in the bracket. Now you're looking at a bracket buster. So Absolutely. You never know what you're going to get out of a team like this.
Well, and I love, you already mentioned his name, Austin Bickerton. You know the name, obviously, down there at 120. Vandermark, you said before. Owen McMullen at 44, a Pennsylvania kid, I believe. Absolutely good. And then I'm going to give a shout out to a Florida kid who happens to be on this team instead of on the Miami Hawks team, and that's Kyle Gallo, who had a hell of a summer.
I didn't even see his name on it, actually.
So love to see him step in the mix, and it's awesome, dude. Misfits are going to be a fun group to watch. And you know what? Boskin always does a fantastic job of getting his kids ready to go.
I was going to say, they'll be well coached.
Absolutely.
But now, speaking of well coached, speaking of knowing what you're getting, is there a team that fits that description more than the home team, the Minion Legends, coached obviously Sean Russell, Gerald Carr, we know the crew, and this year, dare I say, their best team in the last few years.
Yeah.
3 kids ranked number 1. The Mills brothers and Dallas Russell, Honey Badger. You're looking at JoJo Urachuk, ranked number 2 in the country. Harrison Murdoch, Lincoln Robideau. I mean, this team, top to bottom, is stacked. And the thing that when I talked to Coach Russell about this, they're coming in with a bit of a chip on their shoulder. A couple of runs in a row that weren't necessarily the results they would have wanted. But this year, man, they look super tough.
Yeah, no, I love to see them back. I love that it's majority of a Southeast crew, not entirely a Southeast crew. But I love the fact that you know, so we know what we're getting with Dallas Russell, right? We already know what we're getting with Antonio Mills and JoJo Urchuk and that sort of thing. Hutchinson's been here before. Russell's extremely well and those sorts of things. But I want to see Harrison Murdoch. I mean, in the state of Georgia, he is untouchable.
And you and me had this talk going into state, and I'll admit this. I was unfamiliar with Harrison until state because I've been tapped out. I've been doing so many different things. Last year, I kind of took a reset year to get my stuff in order. But man, that kid had a hell of an offseason. He's ranked number 8 in the country. What is he, a sophomore?
He is.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So you'll be dealing with him for a little while.
Yeah, Harrison is super tough. I look across the thing at 150 pounds, and you got Lorenzo Alston there. You got Ivan Arias there. You've got Grayson Eggum, who we're going to get talked to, Sonny Amato in that situation. But I'm telling you what, it's going to just be a lot of fun to watch this young. I think he can go out and compete with anybody, but until you see it and you see him competing against this level of competition, I'm just super excited to watch him compete personally.
Absolutely.
And then I want to go ahead and give a shout out to DJ Clark at 32. This is a little bit of a mesh of a Roundtree Minions, a little bit. We got the Mills boys in there.
Let's call it what it is. Roundtree being a separate team hurt Minions the past couple of years. Let's just be honest. And that's I love Sammy Roundtree. That's my boy. I love Sean Russell. I've known that kid since I was 7 years old. So that's not disrespect to either side. But Roundtree being a separate team hurt Minions for the past few years. Finally, Georgia's reunited once again, and they
reunited,
look to be
and
prime.
It feels so good, right?
It
Do
really
you know that
does.
Song?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, all right.
How young do you think? Come on.
That's
I'm not
an old
song.
song.
I know songs that are older than me. Jesus.
Hey,
we will.
And two more, real quick.
Of course.
So it says John Stewart, but it is John Stewart out of the state of Alabama. One of the best kids in the state of Alabama at 138 pounds. And then at 165 pounds, Titus Norman, younger brother of Max Norman, who competed at this event multiple times. Love to see Norman and the Baylor crew in that situation. For me, Minions have to rely on their studs. Mills, Urachuk, Dallas Russell. Those are the individuals. If Minions are going to make a run, they're the ones who have to get it done.
Absolutely. All right, and now we look at a team that I've always enjoyed them being the Northeast flavor. It's New Jersey.
That's your hometown. Like that's your neck of the woods.
I mean, it really is kind of my home team. It's the New Jersey Commission, and again, this is one of those teams. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ranked guys, but then you have guys that are New Jersey State placers, New Jersey State finalists, which just because they're not ranked, you got to be careful. But, the highlights of this team, a Jonathan McGinty at 120 pounds, Dale
100%.
Corbin at 132, up high 215, a Max, I believe it's Compic. I could be wrong. That's one of those that I'm going to need some clarification on. 157, Bradley Williams is tough, obviously. New Jersey last year made the bracket. They had I don't remember if they beat Dynasty or if them and Dynasty. I know they went to Criteria. I can't remember who won that duel.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head either. I thought somebody beat Dynasty on Criteria before we got to the pool, right? On day one.
I think New Jersey beat, because them, New Jersey, and Carnage were all in the same pool. And I think they rotated with each other, I think was what happened there.
Yeah.
But regardless, this team is going to be super tough. Well, what do you think of this New Jersey Commission squad?
Yeah, so, I mean, so for most of us, we don't really know many of the names from the New Jersey Commission because I don't know the Jersey kids as well. Same as California, right?
Yeah.
And kids who are kind of, a little bit out of kind of my area and that sort of thing. But I will say this, like, I saw when Cliff posted New Jersey Commission, their roster on Instagram, and somebody was like, there's not even a bunch of Jersey kids on there. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like Shiloh Joyce, Charlie Esposito, Jonathan McGinty, Tommy Marchetti, Gino Chinani, Ryan DeGeorge. Those are all Jersey kids, as far as I know. In fact, DeGeorge, who doesn't have a name or a number next to his name at 144 pounds, I'm almost positive he won a New Jersey State title and now wrestles at Del Barton in freaking Maryland. I mean, that kid's a stud. So I'll tell you what, Jersey Commission for me, 6-44, anchored by Jonathan McGinty, who you and I both were really high on a year ago. And we got a shout out from, I think, like his dad or something along those lines. We'd seen him wrestle a couple times.
And by the way, that's changed. I'm still super high on that kid. That
kid's
100%.
Absolutely. He anchors that team. For me, he does. And then
I don't disagree with you.
And then, for me, for those of you who don't know, Bradley Williams at 157 pounds, yeah, it's the state of Alabama, but Bradley is what, a 3-time state runner-up, a 2-time state champion going into his senior year. Bradley is one of the best kids at 157 pounds anywhere. He goes everywhere. He's competed against everyone. He doesn't shy away from going against anyone. So what?
The thing I love about Bradley Williams specifically, we see it sometimes without these kids that aren't on the radar yet. Their first couple of times that they catch a real kid, the coach Etheridge, shout out to him, he call it puckering. They pucker, they wrestle tight, they try to win 2-1, 3-2. They wouldn't have the match and they'd lose to one of these kids. Bradley Williams goes out against a kid. He doesn't care if you're ranked 1, unranked 10. He don't give a damn. He's trying to put 25 points on the board. I love that kid.
He's trying to take your head off, right?
I love that kid. He's a dog. He's the type of guy I want on my dual team. Like tough as nails, gritty, and is willing to fight for every point. He's someone to watch for. And now we move on to the reigning and defending champions. But boy, this team looks different.
It's completely different.
It's Urendis Crew out of Colorado, Pawa, and I don't know what to make of this. It's a great team. Like, let's start there.
Oh, no, it's a fantastic team. Yeah.
I mean, Cooper Deputy, Bickerton and Bell, the bigger deputy, Carson Brown, Rocco Cassiope, Grayson Agam, then a couple more ranked kids, and 2 specifically that stick out like a sore thumb. Ryder Wilder and Ronan On. Right. Question, because I love both these kids and their families. You're not from Colorado. You're from... I know they're probably...
Well, the deputies aren't from Colorado.
No,
from
but there's probably shtick as to why they're not on Minions. We won't poke that bear just yet. I'll wait to do my journalism on that front. But besides that, this team is incredible. Powell, one of the original 8 teams. You know what you're going to get out of them. They're going to come ready to play. And man, they don't have a weakness. It's this weird thing about this team. Like, you look at their lightweights, middleweights, upperweights, they have dogs throughout. I think that they could cause every team in this event matchup problems just because of how deep they are. They go, 10 deep ranked? 10? 11?
Yeah, maybe 11.
I think 11.
No, 10. There's 4 that aren't ranked.
Yeah, but there's 15 weights.
Oh, that's right. 11. You're right. Because I forgot about the 100-pounders.
I outcounted Jason for once.
Woo!
But anyways, this team is stacked from top to bottom. Big guy I want to mention, Aiden Carver at 106 pounds. That dude has had battles with a lot of these kids that are ranked at 106 across the country. He's going to be one to watch out for if you don't know him.
Yeah. No, I love Power, but you hit the nail on the head in that this is so different than the Power squads we've seen in the past.
The only kid I remember that's on their team, that's usually been on their team, is Wenzel,
Yeah.
Cassiope, and Bell. Those are the only three. Unless I'm missing Pete or forgetting, but those are the three that I recognize.
So obviously for us, we're really interested in Ryder, Wilder, and Ronan on 190 and 215. Obviously Georgia kids. I don't care what team you're on, man. I just wanted to see you go out there and compete. So I love that the fact that they're there, they're competing, and you know what, Powa, and you know what, I'm gonna get two studs from the freaking Southeast.
Not to be this guy, but I'm going to be this guy. I love when duels get chippy, and and there's already a fun rivalry between Pawa and Minions. Two Georgia guys on Pawa just kind of seems like this could add some fuel to the fire. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not fully a journalist just yet in my life, but yeah, a little bit of pop. Yeah, a little bit stirring the pot. But we move on.
Hang on, I want one more, and that is 157 pounds. Asher Bacon. If you don't know Asher is a Florida kid who
I did not know is Florida.
Who's now in Pennsylvania. He, as a 7th grader, went up against Drew Gorman at the knockout in the quarterfinals last year.
I remember this kid now. Okay.
Last year is an 8th grader or a 9th grader. I can't remember which one. I think he's a freshman this year. Last year, he made the knockout finals, losing, I believe, to Noah Nininger in the finals. So, Asher Bacon, definitely young, but can't wait to see him compete against this group. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm super. Now that you say that, I remember his name. So yeah, I'm super excited to see him as well. Now,
all right,
move on to a team that a finalist, I believe, a year ago, and previously finals for sure in Marsteller's crew, but it's not a full PA crew. Right. He went in and brought his crew, which, by the way, not calling this a weak roster by any means. Brock Rothermel, Grayson Music, Brock Chamberlain, Springer, and Betchold up top. I mean, this team is nuts. And even down low, you got some guys that are unranked or low ranked, like Sam Wofford, Cale Muller, that if you don't know who they are, boy, are they tough.
Yeah,
and
they are.
This is PA. So you never know what a guy that, maybe he made the state tournament, went 2-2. That guy is a dog. Max Spees at 165. Obviously, you know what you're getting there with that kid. This team is super interesting. What are your thoughts on Stellar going into the weekend?
Yeah, so I'll tell you what, again, you hit the nail right on the head, and it's definitely something I was going to talk about, and that is there was a kid, Brock Rothermel, that I didn't really know much about coming in a year ago. And man, he went up against like some absolute studs and was beating them, was like in the match.
There was someone he put the boots to that I looked at you and I was like, all right, who the hell is this kid?
Yes.
There was someone he was just putting the beats on that I was so surprised.
And I'm telling you right now, like a Grayson Music, he's ranked number 19, but these are kids who, I'm telling you what, you might not know them very well, and they may not have a number next to their name, but you better not sleep on them, because this is a crew. If they bring in the same type of kids that were a little off the radar a year ago, that now they come back again, this team will be in the mix. No doubt about it. And like, look at 215 and heavyweight. Like, I mean, Jason Singer and Dean Bechtold. Like, I mean, that 285, especially with Bechtold, possibly against Mako. Man, I'm telling you what, that's a match I want to watch.
I'm in. Now we move on to a team that I will say is the team that is the biggest question mark of the event, just because a lot of guys that I'm not familiar with. It's Team Gotcha. A couple of guys there that are of note to me. Obviously, 150 pounds, Mike Turry, who's ranked in the country. an all-name team guy for me in 120 pounds, Rocco Lombardo. That name just rolls off an Italian's tongue. And Cooper MacArthur, obviously 113 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
The team is super top to bottom, just not a team I'm as familiar with.
Yeah, so Gotcha's an interesting squad. And the reason is, and right now I think we still have a hole at 215. I'll tell you what, if I'm out recruiting, 2 weeks ago, Georgia Super 32, 215 pounders, I'd pick one of them up. This weekend down in Florida, the Super 32 qualifier tournament, they have some absolute just studs. They're in the backyard. There is no reason that you shouldn't bring somebody in and try to get them to give you something. But going to the other guys that are on the roster for Team Gotcha is obviously, you mentioned Cooper MacArthur. It's going to be really interesting to see him up at 113 competing there. Jacob Saunders right below. Absolute stud. Scriven is, I believe, a Pennsylvania State placer.
Yep.
And then you might notice, well, and before I get to, I got two more I was going to say. Michael Turry, we saw Michael Turry last year at this event for another team. I believe he's another Pennsylvania kid. Up at heavyweight, Chris Belmonte, who was a very young heavyweight for Lake Highland Prep once upon a time. But now I think he went back up to the Northeast. And then final kid that I kind of look at and I just recognize names is at 138 pounds. And that is Kiernan Mink. And I believe that is the younger brother of, I'm trying to remember his older brother's name. Wrestled at Campbell, maybe? I have to look that up.
I'm looking at it too, but I'll believe it.
Corbin Mink.
Corbin Mink. Okay, that sounds about right.
And I'm not 100% sure that the two of them are brothers, but they're both Nebraska studs. Corbin was a 4-time Nebraska state champion. I don't have the rundown of how good Kiernan is, but man, I'll tell you what, coming out of Nebraska, I mean, like, it's just a kid that if you don't know who he is, you might want to watch him.
I completely agree. Now we will move on to the team that, man, if there's a team that looks ready and I feel are most hungry to win this event, it might be this Team Thunder crew that Coach Porter's put together. I see two kids who aren't ranked in the country, but even them, Fernandez and Robbie, are hammers. I mean, you got from top to bottom.
Well, I think Robbie's I think he's heading to Oregon State. He committed to Oregon State.
Yeah, he's a monster. I mean, you have Silva, Coluccio, Azlakian, Ruiz, Spalding, Grajeda, Sonny Amato, Christopher Creason, Jonathan Roca, Cash Colbert. I mean, this team is loaded. Dare I say, the front runners coming into the event?
Definitely.
In the conversation, at least.
No, 100%. Definitely in like the top couple. And really, it'll be how kind of matchups happen to kind of see how far they go, honestly. I mean, look, you got Silva down at 106 pounds, absolute stud. You've got Coluccio, who was a Jersey State finalist. Azlakian, who is a two-time California State champ, I think.
I believe so.
I mean, unbelievably tough. Cash Colbert, I already talked about his brother being the starting heavyweight at Army, and you've got Mateo Vinciguerra, who is ranked number 11 in the country. He's a Jersey State placer, Fargo All-American, committed to the University of Maryland. Like you said, there aren't holes in this lineup anywhere. I mean, I skipped over Grajeda, who's a 2-time California State finalist, Toscano, who is a multiple-time California State finalist. I skipped over all those kids. I mean,
which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I could just run down the list of all their accolades. Now, you still have to run through other teams and not give a bonus or get bonus in certain situations. And look, there's no givens. So it's going to be, I agree with you. Thunder is definitely one of the favorites heading in, but matchups will matter.
Of course. And we will end this discussion with the other team that to me I think is, I think there's almost a two that you can look at and you're like, okay, if they're going to have a year to win this event, it's going to be this year. And that's Carnage. This crew top to bottom is nuts.
Yeah,
you know, Carter Smith, Travion Ducking, Brandon Loiter, Mason Jacob, obviously, Camden Brom, Davis Paro, Maximus Dabolt, again, a name, a team of the names candidate there. Brady Brown at 215. Carnage, they've been close a couple of years, top 4, I believe, the last 2 years. If they're going to win it, I think this is the year they would do it.
No, this is a team, again, sneaky good. Like, I mean, you might look down the list and go, I don't really know that name, right? Okay, MJ Staples. I think he's an Indiana State champ. They have one class, guys. One class. Like, I mean, that is a hammer, right? Logan Tullison up at heavyweight, right? I don't know that he's ranked. He's a Michigan State champ, right? So all the way through this, and then, you know what, we absolutely love, Mason Jacob out of Tennessee, love watching him compete and everything else. And I'll tell you again, we look across at 120 pounds and I just can't get enough of, Alex Rosas, Giovanni Tovar, Jojo Urchuk, McGinty, and now you throw in Azlakian and Mason Jacob. I mean, I don't know how do you get wins? How do you get wins in there?
Very difficult is the answer to that question, I think. It's just one of those where Carnage this year looks ready to go, and they're going to be well coached. They're going to have that X factor every duel. You know what you're going to get with them. So let me ask, we have to do this.
No, you have to do this.
Okay,
you have to do this.
Well, I have been stressing over these picks for a week. I've been running every scenario possible.
One of the best parts about this whole situation is the rosters could change a little bit, and that would just throw everything into.
And what I'm gonna love most is one of these teams is gonna place or something, and their roster will have changed drastically, and I'm still gonna get yelled at for sleeping on them, right? Because that's how this works.
All right, so you can give me a top 4? Is it you give me? Oh, you can do a dark horse.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you a dark horse in Cormier, which the fact that they're a dark horse, Jesus, but we haven't seen them yet. So that's there. My 2 teams outside looking in. Oh, I'm gonna get blasted for this one. Hawa and Minions.
Wow.
Are my 2 on the outside looking in. My top 4. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go with that.
And Minions on the outside looking in of the top 4. Okay.
I think they'll end up in the 5th, 6th place duel. That is the way I'll put it. Cormier might just blast through this whole bracket, by the way, because they have the opportunity to
Coach Russell, you heard it. You don't go.
Yeah, Sean's gonna kill me. Urent is gonna want to beat my tail when he sees me. So now 4th place, I have the Mambas. 3rd place, God, please don't take away my gear. 3rd place, I have Dynasty. Don't take away my shirts, Iola. Don't take away my shirts. I appreciate them. They're great.
Anybody wants to give me gear, I will pick your team every single time.
You know what?
I can be bought. I can be bought, dude. I can be bought.
That means I have Carnage in runners-up, and I have Thunder taking the robes this year. I just think this year they're the deepest. I don't see a team that can match up with them in the right way. I feel like they are going to cause the most problems. I think the only way you beat them is by beating 5, 6, 7 ranked kids, which is nuts to say. But I think that's the only way you beat Thunder. You have to beat 6 ranked kids. And I don't know if some of these teams are going to be able to do that with this roster.
Yeah,
so
no,
hold me to it. My only asterisk will be if these teams change drastically and all of a sudden, like, things alter, don't anyone come for me. This is as of 9/10/2025 at 5:30 p.m.
Everybody come for him. It doesn't matter if you need a cell phone number. I'm more than happy to share it with you. Just
Jason
hit
will.
me up.
He's given my email out to many a person.
Oh, darn right, man. You guys should definitely let Lucas know what you think. You know what? I don't hate your picks. I mean, honestly, again, I'd pick whatever team wants to give me gear. But the truth is, this is, you know what? So much can happen. So much can happen. There are going to be so many good matchups. I didn't see things happening the way that they happened in years past. And you know what? That's one of the best things about the event. You get 2 absolutely great kids, 2 great teams on the mat going against each other. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen when these types of teams run heads up. This is going to be, in my opinion, this is the single deepest year of the event.
Well, guys, we are both going to be there. I'll be taking pictures and doing those sorts of things. Lucas will be talking, as he always does.
That's all I do.
And you know what? We're going to have a blast. So if you guys are in town, in Atlanta, Georgia, International Convention Center over by the airport.
I believe so, yeah.
It's September... Well, I should have
19th and 20th?
19th and 20th, something like that. It's Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be a blast, guys. I'll tell you what, if you've never been to this event before, Cliff and his crew run a great event, and it's just a ton of fun to, one, be in the building, watch some quality. I mean, there's going to be matches going on. I was telling, Dan Ward and Brant Parsons down in Florida, I'm like, you got Luke Lillendahl and Bo Bassett over here wrestling a match. It's not a final. Like, there's still matches going on over there. Number 3 versus number 7 is happening on another mat.
I remember last year, my duel ended early, the last duel of day 1. And I just watched the 4 other mats. Between the 4 other mats, there were 6 ranked kids on the mat.
Yeah. It was
that's
great.
Ridiculous. That's insanity. I said this a couple years ago, if you are within 2.5, 3 hours of Atlanta and you don't come through to watch this event, as long as you have nothing to do, like, I get you, people, but if you don't love wrestling.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Everybody should be there.
Especially when we're in a world where this sport needs to be more of a business. We have to businessize this sport and professionalize it. Shout out to the RAF. Yep. Shout out to Claw. Shout out to these different organizations that are going about doing that. This is, and everyone wants to talk about UGA needs wrestling, this school needs wrestling. We need to show them that we can fill out arenas and stadiums. That also includes your bigger high school events and your bigger college events for the NAIA in Division II and Division III.
Yep.
And this is a great example. Yep. This is a hell of an event. It's once in a lifetime for some of these kids to get this opportunity. And as a fan, I don't think there's a better event to go to in the preseason, period, point blank. 5 mats, and each match is incredible. Weight in, weight out, round in.
Well, and you know what? I can't better that, but the one thing I would say is if you've ever been to Super 32, which I absolutely love, it is chaos. There's so much going on. It's like Fargo. There's so many mats and so many things going on and everything else. Take 5 mats of the best kids in the country that are in the semis or the quarterfinals or whatever, Super 32, put them all across the mats and have them wrestle one another. You're getting that round robin style, baby.
It really is. Take 5 mats of the Super 32 semi and quarterfinals and inject it into one building where the atmosphere is unmatched. I'm super excited for it. Next week is going to be
I never miss it. Never miss it, baby.
Oh,
Never.
and I won't ever miss it. I tell all my professional wrestling bookings whenever Elite Eight comes out and we get the dates, I will be in Atlanta on commentary. I will not be at the event. I'm sorry. Shout out to Premier and SCA that I will be missing that weekend, but I have to be in Atlanta.
I agree with you. I've had to miss other events. I have not missed Elite Eight. So there
Of
we go.
course. So Jason,
Lucas,
it's been fun, man.
oh, it's great. I miss this so much. I hope that this, we're able to continue doing this, the level
Yeah.
of energy and everything else. Way to start back. Elite Eight is definitely the event.
So it's the only way to start back. This really kicks off to me the folk style wrestling season.
I love it, man. Peace out.
Yes, sir. You too.